Hi, and welcome to the TheFYigeekflow. I hope you all had a very good Christmas and I hope you all had a fantastic New Year. Well, it's the second week of January and we're back. Cue my... Okay, well welcome back to the TheFYigeekflow. Hope you've all enjoyed your break, like I say. And yeah, we're back. You're back with me, Kev. So, as it happens, I get to pick this week's topic, and then we'll just carry on from here and sail down the river, I suppose. So this week's topic is... I'll put it on the TV for you. Okay, so, as you can see, I don't know whether you can read that, conspiracy theories. So, I thought I'd throw that one out there and see what we can come up with. At the end of the video, when you finish watching this, please write your comments down in the comment section, and the subscribe button is down there now, so is the like button, so remember all of that. Conspiracy theories. Okay, so here goes conspiracy theory number 1. So you're probably wondering why I've got a picture of a steam train here. This represents the strategic steam reserve. There's a little bit of a conspiracy about steam trains, believe it or not. So this is conspiracy theory number 5. I'll count upwards. During the late 50s, early 60s, British Rail began to withdraw steam engines. And with the Cold War looming and, you know, people being scared of throwing nuclear weapons at each other and things like that, they actually got paranoid about the Russians throwing over a nuclear bomb. The effects of which going off in the atmosphere would produce an electrical magnetic pulse, or as they call it in posh terms, an EMP. That in turn would render all electrical grids, power lines, power stations, power circuits and everything useless. It would just render them useless. All diesel, all electrical locomotive traction would not work. Your cars wouldn't work, your TVs wouldn't work, and all kinds of things like that. So what they did, allegedly, is towards the withdrawal of steam, towards the late 60s, remember they were still building steam engines up until 1963, I think, somewhere. So some of these steam engines wouldn't have been very, very old, some of them younger than 10 years. It's alleged that the military, the British military, sneaked in to railway depots and places like that and actually took these steam engines away secretly one night. We're still yet to find out whether this is true or not, but alleged rumours are that they took them away and stored them. One of the famous places is the Box Tunnel. Type that into Google, Box Tunnel Steam Reserve, and you know that should give you something on that. Okay, moving on to conspiracy theory number 4. Okay, conspiracy theory number 4. 9/11. I don't really like touching on this one, but it's a huge conspiracy that 9/11 was an inside job. I don't really want to go into this one. It's too vast, it's too deep, and I've got respect for the people that died in the Twin Towers, but that is my conspiracy number 4. You can go onto YouTube or Google or wherever else and say it was an inside job. You know, President Bush was at a primary school when it happened. It's all there on the internet. Yeah, alright, it's coming from the internet, it's coming from whoever, but why are some of the witnesses to 9/11 suddenly dying off under mysterious circumstances? I don't know. But anyway, like I said, I'm skipping through this one because I find it a bit creepy. Okay, moving on. Conspiracy theory 3. Okay, so conspiracy theory number 3 is the Titanic. Now, alright, there's not a lot to a ship hitting an iceberg and sinking, and once again a lot of people died here, so it's a very sort of sore subject. But the Titanic, there's a bit of a conspiracy behind it. On its maiden voyage, history tells us that the Titanic left the port of Southampton and headed over towards New York City it was going really fast at night in the dark, no moon, and it hit an iceberg. 2.5 hours later, it was at the bottom of the Atlantic, killing over 1,200 people, and you know, the history lesson goes on there. What a lot of people are probably wondering why I'm touching on the Titanic. There is a theory that it was sunk on purpose. Yeah, so there's a conspiracy about an insurance payout. There's another conspiracy, however, which is a bit more mind-boggling. It's alleged that the Titanic was actually swapped for its sister ship, the Olympic. Now this could be validated if we could go to the bottom of the ocean and find out. Because when the divers actually found Titanic, there was an O and an M. Now Titanic doesn't have an O or an M in it, so, you know, as I say, go onto the internet, you can type up the Titanic conspiracy. It's the Titanic proportions. Bad joke. Okay, never mind. Okay, moving on to conspiracy theory number 2. It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Okay, that was probably my worst Neil Armstrong impression ever. The moon landings. Conspiracy theory number 2. Okay, so during 1969, America have historically pledged that they have landed a man on the surface of the moon and brought him home safely. Now this conspiracy theory it explodes with various different theories, I suppose. The conspiracy theory behind this is number 1, man didn't go to the moon. Number 2, he did go to the moon, and what we saw really did happen through the news feeds and things. Or number 3, which intrigues me a lot, we actually went to the moon, but it was a military operation. We were led to believe it was a NASA operation, and they went to the moon, but what we seen was actually made in a Hollywood basement. And the 4th conspiracy behind this one, or the 4th theory behind Mr. Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin and his mates on the moon, 4th theory of them being on the moon was actually they got there and there were other life forms waiting for them. It was either Buzz Aldrin or Neil Armstrong had reported, or somewhere it had been reported, that as they flew down into the Sea of Tranquility, they were actually parked spacecraft on the moon awaiting this historic moment. Which also brings the question up, why haven't we been back since the early 70s or the mid 70s? This is an interesting one. So for my topic number 1, this is, you know, a bit Mulder and Scully. So my number 1 topic is UFOs and aliens. As they say on the X-Files, the truth is out there. UFOs and aliens. Every time that there's a UFO sighting, it gets downplayed. The number of UFO sightings that are actually confirmed as unexplained, you know, they're very, very rare. You know, when you go from the credentials, if I was to go outside now with my camera, which I probably won't because the battery's dead, so it won't creep me out, but say I've got a full charge battery on a night like this, I'm walking around and all of a sudden I see something strange in the sky, yeah, I'll whip my camera out and I'll start filming. You know, people have actually seen these things, they've filmed them, and no matter how genuine these people are, people always turn around and say they're faked. I don't know why, but that's obviously done on some sort of graphics program on the computer or somewhere. I just got this from the internet today just to prove my point. Yeah, so aliens and UFOs. Yeah, I'm a big believer there. I think there's a big, you know, government cover-up kind of thing. But when you hear reports of policemen, military personnel, airline pilots, what would you call them? The RAF. I mean, there's the typical case during World War II of the Foo Fighters. both the Luftwaffe and the RAF reported seeing balls of light as they flew across the channel. They called them Foo Fighters. You've probably heard of the band as well, that's probably where it got its name from. Yeah, so aliens and UFOs. You never know, there might be an alien out there living amongst us. I could be an alien, but I'm not from the TV. I'm not, well in fact, yeah, I am an alien, I'm Doctor Who, so, you know, there we go. Okay, I'm going to leave this picture there because I really, really like it. Okay, well I've been Will the Willow, and I just wanted to wish you a Happy New Year, and I thought we'd kick off with something completely geeky and completely random. I'm sorry I haven't gone into full details with these things, but you can all help yourselves by just going onto the internet and having a look at these different conspiracies. You know, you can do what you want there. Mike, I think, is doing a carry on the topic from last week, and he's going to carry on with this week's topic, or sort of the last sort of week we did, which was food, favourite foods. But I'm going to leave him entirely up to that. Mike and Tom, if you want to do a top 5 conspiracies that you believe in, or top 5 conspiracies that you think are absolutely fake, please hoax up a video, and I will see you soon. Take care. I've been Kev, FY World of Willow, and I will see you next week.